Tyron Smith of the Cowboys, and Trent Williams of the 49ers. It's hard to break into that group as a rookie.
It is, and Tristan Wirfs. The thing that's going to be hard for Penei Sewell is that Tristan Wirfs is in his second year.
We've been doing it for a decade.
And when you make a Pro Bowl, all of a sudden now that list is out. That name is in people's minds. So when they start to vote next year, if they're not Lions fans, they're not paying attention to Penei Sewell, they look at it and they go, "Oh, Tristan Wirfs. He made it last year." And a lot of times they'll just vote for the guy that was the incumbent. And right or wrong, it doesn't matter because that's the fan voting, but it's only a third of the vote. You still got the media, you still have the players as well. But a lot of times they will also, for the tackle position, and what Penei Sewell has to battle against is they will quite often take 3 left tackles. Mm-hmm. Now that's changed, that narrative changed a little bit because the fact that defensive ends, it used to be left tackles because the right defensive end was the pass rusher. That was the premier position. Now with edge rushers on both sides, that narrative has changed a little bit, which is why I believe Tristan Wirfs, who is a really good tackle and had a terrific year. I have no problem with him making the Pro Bowl this year, but that's what Penei Sewell will be up against next year.
The quarterbacks. In the NFC, you have Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Kyler Murray. You good with that? Because the debate is, and there's one in the AFC too, but the debate in the NFC is Stafford. Murray missed some games. Stafford, Murray. Because I have no issue with Brady and Rodgers. I mean, those two guys they're in the MVP race.
But it's, so what you're looking at then is Kyler Murray, up until last week, they had the best record in the NFC. And a lot of votes were in before they lost to the Detroit Lions. Now, if you just take that, and again, it's a one-off. Yeah. He did miss a couple of weeks, but they started off the season, and it was a surprising start to the season. Nobody believed Cliff Kingsbury, Kyler Murray were going to be that team that went the furthest without their first loss.
I feel like Murray hasn't played well in about a month. Some of that's injury, some of that's the last couple of weeks. So I think that kind of taints the jury pool. I also think Stafford's having a hell of a season. In the AFC, Herbert, Mahomes, Lamar. No Josh Allen. I think I'd swap out Lamar and Josh Allen.
A lot of, again,
no Burrow either. Burrow's the other one people were talking about.
Yeah, Joe Burrow, good year, not great yet. He's got a number of Pro Bowls ahead of him, I believe. But Josh Allen, this is a guy where, they only put up 6 points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. And, so then you look at the entirety of the season. And again, I go back to, and people will say, well, okay, Tom Brady didn't score any. His offense got shut out against the New Orleans Saints. Well, again, go to when were all of the votes cast? It wasn't until that. And that game for Josh Allen happened early enough that I think it tainted his season enough to say, to drop the vote.
Right, because the margins are slim. And we should point out, too, Pro Bowl fan vote component, the real accolade is all pros, right? Because that is the true test of whether or not you're the best at your position. Some ticket text coming in on this snow shovel business, John. You want some of these?
Oh, yeah, I'd love some.
248-539-9797 says, Cookies, I did this. You're going to get a shovel way too late. You're going to end up spending over $1,000 on a snowblower because you're waiting too late.
If you can find a snowblower, that's going to be the issue.
It says, dude, I live in an apartment and even I have a snow shovel.
They're actually paying the building to shovel, yet they have one anyway. Mm-hmm.
So it says, John, I'd leave the station right now and just go get him a stupid shovel. The shovel was one of the first things I bought when I got my house in August of 20.
A lot of realtors, especially because you moved in March, right?
Yeah.
A lot of realtors will actually show up with a shovel.
That's kind of cool.
And if you buy a home in the winter, it's kind of a housewarming present from a little Michigan realtor comical joke.
Congrats, go throw your back out.
That's a little redundant, right? Comical joke?
A little bit. Text just says, hey, Cookies, if you have a leaf blower and the snow is fluffy enough, it works better than a shovel.
And it is so much fun.
Have you done that?
Oh, absolutely. You put the kids over there, and they actually actually want to get sprayed with the snow. And then they come out looking like actual walking snowmen.
Keyword if you gotta get the right snow.
And since, global warming, we have a lot of those 31, 32 degree snows, which happen to be that wet, heavy snow. Not blowing those.
And the last one says, get the shovel ASAP, Cookies, because when the first big snow hits, all the salt and shovels are going to be bought out.
That's right. Because you're going to drive over that snow. It's going to freeze. You're going to need some salt to break up those tire tracks.
When are we getting the first big snow? What's my timeline here? Because Friday it's supposed to be 40.
Right.
And Saturday, I think the same deal. So we're supposed to have a warm Christmas, a rainy Christmas potentially.
Going for a walk. I bet we have...
Can I get to the new year? Can I get through the holiday season here?
Probably
start the new year on a good... Everybody wants to start the new year on the right foot.
Start the new year with a new shovel.
What says New Year, New Me, like a brand new shovel?
That's exactly right.
All right, holiday season's here. Christmas Eve is tomorrow. 2 days away from Christmas itself. Coming up next, the Christmas stocking stuffer. 7 o'clock, controversy brewing in college football. Could we have an asterisk champion? It's 97.1.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Christmas afternoon, Green Bay, a touchdown favorite at home against Cleveland. Total is 44, and the number is only sitting where it is right now because of COVID uncertainty with Cleveland. But I think the expectation has to be that Cleveland's going to get a lot of their players back. They do get these players back, and the number hovers around 7, 6.5, even 6. I really like taking Cleveland. I don't think the number should ever hit 60 if those players are going into play. So we'll have to wait to see what happens. If none of these players get clear, then obviously we don't like Cleveland in the game. But if Cleveland gets its players back and the number is 7, 6.5, or 6, then let's take Cleveland plus the points coming up on Christmas Day against Green Bay. That's it for this Bet River Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by Bet River Sportsbook, Detroit's hometown sportsbook. Check out the latest lines today at BetRivers.com. I'm Nick Costos. Keep it locked here for more throughout the day. Must be 21, playable in Michigan. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-270-7117.
Hi friends, Bill Golling here for Golling Kia of Madison Heights. If you currently own a Kia, I'd like to invite you to visit our new facility on 14 Mile Road, east of the Oakland Mall, right off I-75. We offer great friendly service, have a well-stocked parts department, and factory-trained technicians. Need a different set of wheels? We offer everything from tires to an outstanding selection of new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from. So come discover the Golling difference. Remember, we want to see you in a Golling Kia. Check us out online at gollingkia.com.
I am David Hall from Hall Financial. The holiday season is all about giving, and that's why Hall Financial is giving you the gift of a free appraisal. Get started with your free appraisal now at 866-CALL-HALL or chat with us online at callhallfirst.com.
We are all on this planet together, so join Odyssey and find your one thing. This holiday season, give the environment a gift by investing in some LED Christmas lights. LEDs last years longer than regular lights, which means less electronic waste over time. Also, LED Christmas lights are far more energy efficient, wasting less energy as heat, which means a smaller electric bill. And be sure to recycle old, inefficient Christmas lights at appropriate e-waste facilities. Join Odyssey, and together, each of us doing one thing makes a greener tomorrow. What's your one thing?
Want to hear how I almost got off the naughty list this year? I helped Santa save gazillions by having him download Capital One Shopping to his computer. Capital One Shopping instantly searches for available coupon codes and automatically applies them at checkout. You can download it too and save a bundle. You don't even need a Capital One card, and it's free. So why didn't I get off the naughty list? Turns out Santa's a stickler for naughty words. Capital One Shopping. It's kind of genius. What's in your wallet?
Savings and available coupons vary.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, here's why pediatricians all over the state are recommending it.
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children with underlying health conditions.
They can easily bring the virus home to other people that are vulnerable and make them sick as well.
This vaccine can change that and keep children safe.
Over 3 billion people have been fully vaccinated now from COVID-19. After clinical trials with kids around the world, The COVID vaccine is now authorized to be safe and effective for children 5 to 11 with 2 small kid-sized doses.
It's essential that your children get vaccinated to protect them, to protect your families, and to protect those in the community around you.
Talk to your doctor and learn more at michigan.gov/kids-COVID-vaccine. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
This hour of instant feedback brought to you by Mike Capurro National Benefit Plans. For affordable life insurance, call 877-734-2200.
The Detroit Pistons play the Miami Heat. Pregame tonight at 7:05 on 97.1. The Ticket.
Some are calling this the Christmas version of the wide nine. A Christmas stocking stuffer as we get closer to Christmas Day itself. Jim Costa with you, Stoney, off heading into Christmas. Does somebody even celebrate Christmas?
I believe he does. Yes. And Stoney gave us Christmas presents last week, and they were tremendous.
Very nice.
Yes, he does.
Greg Hargrave, you're going to take us through some of the most important, pivotal questions this time of year.
Fantastic. Michigan is an 8.5 point. Oh, wait, we did that yesterday. Sorry. All Christmas related, and there's 9 of them, by the way. First off, real or fake tree?
I'm going to say it's got to be a real tree. I'm good with both because we have 2 of them in our house, one fake, one real.
And you got to chop it down too, right, John?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you go to a tree farm, you walk around, you do the Clark Griswold, and you find the perfect tree. You make sure that you bring the saw, you saw it down, you lug it back to the car, and you never know what present might be in that tree. You might get a squirrel, you might get something extra that you didn't even know was coming for Christmas.
I am not surprised that you said real tree, but it is fake tree. Fake tree so that you have that Christmas tradition every year when you get it out, you set it up, and you know it's the right height. You know you don't have to water it and take care of it. It's perfect.
And you probably go pre-lit too, right?
Yeah.
I will go with a fake tree, although I will agree with Jansen. I find that either's acceptable. This is more of a, hey, what you like, go for it. I will do a fake tree.
But you miss the smell of the real tree.
I'll go get one of those candles or those plug-ins or whatever.
It's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all.
All right, number 2, best Christmas song.
Okay, so there's only one answer here, right? Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Lord, no. Oh, no.
Starting with a kicks in, it's just got a
Yeah, make your ears bleed. That kind of pop to it. And you can't get it out of your head for a long time. I didn't want this to turn into I'm bashing everything that you like for Christmas.
No, it's fine, John.
So
Tis the season.
This best Christmas song, White Christmas, Bing Crosby. You gotta sing along to it. It sings itself. It gets you in the mood. And we talked about a white Christmas. We're not going to have one, but the whole theme of that movie, the Christmas miracle. Snow starts falling. Snow.
I find a lot of Christmas songs either I've heard them too many times, so they're kind of played out like the Mariah Carey song, or they're just kind of old and slow, and they really don't do anything for me. However, I find this to be a recent revelation for me. This Christmas by Donny Hathaway, best Christmas. All right, number 3, best Christmas movie.
Christmas movie, that's an easy one. Christmas Vacation. I already pulled out the Clark Griswold reference. I mean, he pulls in the live tree, and his neighbor asks him, where are you going to put it? One of the greatest Christmas moments ever.
It's a great movie. It was on my final couple. But I'm going with The Grinch, a classic, and not the creepy live action one, like the cartoon, the OG Grinch.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
Dr. Seuss.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm behind that.
You know, a couple years ago, I would be a stickler for like what qualifies as a Christmas movie.
If
and
you
that
say
sort of
Die Hard, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I've kind of let that just go by the
that
wayside.
die out, yeah.
Screw it. Let's go. Come on. Let's just be inclusive here. Die Hard.
What?
By the way, I agree. It is a Christmas
Because it
movie.
takes place during Christmas. It doesn't have. Are we really going to devolve to the same debate?
You could actually like this. That could actually be a Hallmark Christmas movie. The theme is the same, right? You have a couple that's a little bit argumentative. They're not seeing eye to eye, and then by the end of the movie, They hug, they kiss, they make up.
Exactly. That's a great point.
A lot of not Christmas things happen in the middle, but sure.
All right, number 4, best Christmas cookie.
For me, it is, and I am the foremost expert on this, it is the sugar cookie with the vanilla frosting and sprinkles on top. My great aunt would make them for us growing up, so it's got that nostalgia, that sentimentality, and it's just a damn good cookie.
I'm not going to argue that, especially coming from Jimmy Cookies. You would think he would give you the best Christmas cookie. I'm going to say the gingerbread cookie because
it's polarizing.
It's how is it polarizing?
I feel like gingerbread.
Oh,
is that for everybody?
Ginger settles the tummy. It's just it's a perfect spice, but it's great with coffee. You can make little people out of it. The gingerbread man. You can decorate it. You get the gumdrop buttons, but you can also build a home out of it. And you know what sets in front of that home with all of the icing? A damn shovel.
At the stop sign, turn right onto Inkster Road.
Even John's gingerbread house has a shovel and I don't. They say they're little short people, Johnny. You're okay with that? Because
yes,
you don't like short people like Tom Cruise.
Yes. Well, because they sneak up on you.
1.4 miles, turn right onto Northwestern Highway.
I'm going to go with, this is something that my sister's made probably a decade going now. It is a little off the board. These chocolate chip pumpkin cookies that she makes. They're kind of chewy, break apart. It's really good to eat. I love those. Number 5, best Christmas decoration.
I've got 2, and I'm not sure which one to go with because the mistletoe, I mean,
look at you, Mr. Romantic.
You're looking for every opportunity. Yeah, Mr. Romantic. I'm just looking for an opportunity. So I'm looking
you don't have to do any work. It's hanging up.
Exactly. I stand under it for 12 days. And I've got this blowable. I know a lot of people don't like it. It's a blowable. Olaf from Frozen. It's about 9 feet tall. It takes up, most of the front of the house. It just is a thing of beauty. And the best part about it is when all the little kids come walking by, they make mom and dad stop and take a picture next to Olaf because who doesn't love Olaf?
Now, is this obnoxiously large? Because I picture it
9
like
foot tall. It's
9 feet tall. It's the left tackle of the Jansen household.
That's right. Yes.
Protecting the blind side.
Exactly.
I would say, in the theme of this, it's the stocking that hangs over the fireplace, right? And as it gets full, Christmas is right around the corner.
Yeah, right next to your fake tree.
I've got a lot. Of
turn right.
New ornaments that me and my wife have got over the last decade or so since we've been a couple. So it's really tough for me to determine and distinguish and single out one of those ornaments out of another. So I'm not going to go there. I will go from a decoration from my childhood. We had this skinny Santa Claus that we could kind of bend their legs and their arms in it a bit, and we used to sit with him on top of the doorbell in my parents' house. So I'm gonna go with the skinny Santa there.
Skinny Santa. All right.
At the light,
Not
turn
often
right
do you hear
onto
the
Northwestern
favorite
Highway.
Skinny Santa.
Classic.
Yes.
Number 6, best Christmas present you ever received.
So I would have been younger. I don't remember the exact age.
But not a lot of years that we're talking about here. You're only 28.
Thank you, John.
It's the previous 27.
Well, this will put it in the context then. The original PlayStation that me and my brother got to play. Everybody's got a PS5 now. The original PlayStation, the gray, and it made that the startup sound, little Sony sound. That's my answer.
Okay. For me, it's a combo present. And it's a combo that is hard to be beat. My kids, this one is, when it's wrapped, you know exactly what it is. It's a St. Croix fishing reel, quantum bait caster, and the best part about it was
quantum what now?
Quantum bait caster.
This is a real thing.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, and it is what came with it as well. Because as I'm opening the present and I am admiring the fact that the kids went out and bought exactly what I asked for,
and Southfield Freeway.
They said, "Dad, for the next year, when you want to go fishing, we will not argue. We will not come up with an excuse. We will go with you every single time." And they sure as hell did. And it was an outstanding year.
How many uses did you get out of that? You're dragging them out there a bunch, I bet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's summer fishing is 2-3 times a week. So, and the beautiful thing about it is, right, you're on the water and the kids can go swimming as well. So it's not like they didn't get something out of it.
I'm sitting there bored with Dad the whole day.
Yeah, for me, 10 years old, grew up watching hockey. I grew up a big Wayne Gretzky fan. My brother was a big Mario Lemieux fan. Mom and Dad both give us a huge box. We open the box, a bunch of underwear in it. So, we're kind of bummed up about it. My parents are like, no, keep going, keep digging. And so we kind of dig through the underwear. And at the bottom of the box, I get Los Angeles Kings jersey. My brother gets a Pittsburgh Penguins jersey. Best Christmas gifts ever. And the best presentation ever. Great presentation.
Who was the Kings jersey?
Mine.
No, I'm saying
it was it didn't have a name on the back, but we had a neighbor who actually was able to do like that kind of embroidery. So I ended up getting Gretzky on the back, and he got Lemieux on the back. That's awesome. All right, number 7. What is your go-to Christmas food?
Oh, Christmas dinner, it's a prime rib. And it is, and I put it in the smoker, it's an all-day deal. And it comes out absolutely perfect. And it's kind of one of those where you just, in prime rib, you don't have we actually don't make it all year long. And that is the one thing that we have that is specifically.
Stay in the left 3 lanes.
I wish we were a prime rib family growing up. Sadly, sorry, my family's listening. We just do like the honey baked ham, which is fine. The prime ribs, yeah, but
in studio, Stoney and Jansen on 97.1 The Ticket.
Let's just get out of the way. I hate that this is even a possibility. I hate that in an era with a college football playoff, we could still have an inconclusive national champion.
Well, I mean, get used to it because coronavirus isn't going anywhere.
Especially with this Omicron variant, it's spreading faster, and as a result, the College Football Playoff Committee has come out and put some guidelines out because they know there's already been some shakeups with the bowl season. Texas A&M is not going to play their bowl game due to a COVID outbreak. They just don't have enough bodies to play the game.
COVID, injuries, and we saw this last year. A number of teams that just couldn't field the team for bowl games, and I'm not sure, and they haven't decided yet. I know there's a couple of programs that have said, hey, we can rally the troops. Illinois was one of those. So we can rally the troops, 5 and 7 program.
Rutgers turned him down. You see that? At 5 and 7, he said, no, not playing.
I think A&M's just afraid of recruits.
They're waving the white flag. John, so you're an expert in shared national titles, so I want to get your thoughts on how this goes.
What a cheap shot. That's a cheap shot.
Okay.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Lafayette Boulevard.
Let's go through what these rules actually are and then some of the ramifications. So, Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl playoff games on New Year's Eve, a week from tomorrow. If either one of the teams can't participate, the unavailable team forfeits and the opponent advances all the way to the national championship. That would suck. If both teams from a given game can't take the field, the game would be declared no contest, and the team that wins the other game will be the national champions. There would be no national championship game. We might find out after the fact that someone won the national title if the late game was the one that didn't get played.
Right.
There's more here because that's not the only outcome. If one team is able to play, let me back up. If 3 teams are unable to participate, so Alabama, Cincinnati, and Georgia all can't play because their teams get ravaged with COVID positive cases and the players are sick and you can't play.
I appreciate you picking those 3.
Then Michigan is the national champions. But there would absolutely be an asterisk in that scenario if you didn't have to play a single game in the playoff and you were claimed a national champion.
And so it goes to the same thing that I think have all come to the conclusion about the entirety of the 2020 season. What is the validity of the results that we had in that season? Some teams were better, some teams were worse. You didn't have a lot of teams that could play in bowl games. You had some that have never gone to a bowl game, and I think that was a great opportunity for this program. But we're talking about
Hey. So. Yeah, all the Redford ones were gone. All right, I'll run by them. I got one I had to do for Shaq this morning. Then as soon as I get done with that, I'll run over there. Okay.
Georgia, you've got JT Daniels and George Pickens, their wide receiver, who's hopefully going to be back after the ACL tear that he had in, I think it was March. It's one thing for coaches, it's another thing for players, but the whole thing is that you're able to settle it on the field. If you can't settle it on the field, and Alabama's had I think they said a 90% vaccination rate, Michigan is at 100%. It doesn't mean Michigan's not going to pop on positives.
Nope.
It doesn't mean that Alabama or Georgia or Cincinnati aren't going to pop on positives, because we've seen that across the sports landscape. We've seen it across the world. And nobody wants to settle a national championship that way.
248-539-9797. And it would absolutely be an asterisk for any of these teams. I'm not just singling out Michigan in that scenario.
No, yeah.
If anybody gets a title without playing the game itself, or in this case, multiple games, right? That's the beauty of the playoff, is these are champions that are battle-tested. As opposed to, for the history of college football, they played their schedule. Some teams played a bowl, a very small chunk, and then everybody cast votes and said, I think they're better.
Just on the neck.
I mean, I would argue if someone wins via asterisk this year, it's the same as most of college football's history. But I think a lot of that history was unsatisfying, and that's why we've tried to make it a better process.
The history, you at least saw all the games played, and you were able to vote on it. Now there's 3 games left to be played, the 2 semifinals and the final. And if you're unable to participate in those games, the debate will rage for the rest of time. Who was the best in 2021? And we have what we are hoping is the ability to settle on it, but we just don't know if it's going to happen.
One other scenario. Let's say we get through New Year's Eve. There's a winner in both games. 2 teams advance. January 10th is the national title date, right? It's possible that a team could be unable to play that game. If both teams cannot play that game, we would have no national champion. There would be basically a vacated, no contest, no champion for this college football season.
They can't back it up, 4 days?
Yes.
I think it's up to the 14th.
Yes, the 10th or the 14th is the window. You would hope, and I do think we are going to play these games, but they have to be prepared for the situation where something, act of God, right, as they having these contracts, something takes place where you cannot field your team and you cannot play the game. Greg asked a really interesting question to us in the pre-show. If you get to that scenario where Michigan, Alabama, 1-2, they win their games, they're set to play one another, and neither can field their team, would you rather be co-national champions or no national champion? There's a bunch of wrinkles to this ridiculous situation we find ourselves in.
Yeah, I was just going to say, that's the thing that I thought of, is they're just saying, well, there's no national champion. So, I mean, look, we've awarded, there's been co-national championships before, there's been pure national championships. Nick Saban has shared a national championship, by the way, too. Your boy, Mark Burnell, obviously the Michigan-Nebraska one is the one we all bring up around here.
Yep.
It's it wouldn't be unprecedented in college football.
It wouldn't. But again, it's going to always be debated, as we have done for the past 4 years, is who would have won the game. And it's for for people that love to talk about college football, that's not necessarily think a bad thing, because you can debate those and you can talk about the pros and cons of both programs, both teams, head coaches, all of those different things. And that debate will only increase as guys go on to play in the NFL. As in my experience, the number of players that went on from Michigan as opposed to the number of players that went on from Nebraska, and then all of a sudden, maybe one of those players becomes a head coach and grants themselves a national championship at a different program. Now, I digress a little bit. But it's...
Whoever could he be referring to?
You don't want to back into, especially during this time, no one wants to back into a national title.
No. Let me say just one thing about this. Is it ideal? No. But I find it preferable to just say, well, there's no national champion.
Yeah. So here's the other thing.
I think I would prefer no national champion because nobody won it, right? As opposed to the charade the sport previously lived in, which is, I don't know, you're undefeated, they're undefeated, you win, you're the champion. I mean, that was the sport for the large chunk of its history. The playoff was supposed to end the speculative nature. It hasn't really done that.
Right.
It's gotten better. But if we don't have the ability to actually play a game, how about this? Michigan would be declared the national title champions if everybody else gets COVID. I would almost argue no one is the national title. You did not go out and win anything, right?
Yeah.
So I would prefer the vacated no contest. If you can't go out and beat somebody, you did not earn a national title. It would be, for everybody that makes fun of Central Florida, it would be no different than what Central Florida did. For you to play nobody and win the national title. That goes for Bama, Georgia, even Cincinnati. It's not picking on Michigan. That's just the groundwork